Hi friend, how are you? This is Pat Sloan for my daily video. We are on Black Wednesday. It's my favorite day of the week. Well, besides Friday. I like Fridays too. Okay, so let's first do our topic of the day, and that is the biggest. So I'm curious, I'd like to see your biggest quilt you ever made. Gigantic, right? I think my biggest quilt is probably my birthday quilt with all the blocks people sent me, and I put them together, and it's two-sided, but besides I think it's close to 100 by 100. My solstice is another big quilt that I have, so you can see both of those in my, the solstice is on the I Love to Make Quilts. It's one of the sew-alongs we did. It's the first Black Wednesday sew-along we did. Yeah, so it's pretty big, but the birthday quilt is even bigger. So show me that. Show me your biggest quilt you ever made. Share over at the Facebook group, and if you're not on Facebook, you should be. It's Quilt Along with Pat Sloan. Otherwise, just tell me about it here at YouTube. Okay, or if you're reading this on my blog, you can tell me in the comments at the blog. So today is Black Wednesday, and I have in celebration all of my blocks up on the wall. There they are, for cozy things. This is just so much fun. I love it, and I love how it's turning out. Oops, here's the block. Let me show you the block. Our topic today is, as every week, it's something cozy, and it is comfy clothing. So that is our topic for the day, for the block, and it is this one. This is it. Here we go. That's what we're going to make. And I have a couple of things. I want to show you part of the step out of making this, because I have a few tips, and I thought it'd just be easier to show you here on the video. So I made multiples of some of the sections so I could show you that. And I thought it would be kind of cool to show you what it looks like in another colorway. So we'll do that too. All right, so we're going to talk about how to get this block together. The block, let's look at it. When you get the pattern, you download it. Links are below. It is one unit. This is the unit, like that. And you end up making 4 of these, and then you rotate, and they make that pinwheel in the middle. But they're 4 identical blocks, which makes it super easy. We're doing a sew and flip unit here and a half square triangle unit there. So I am going to show you this 1/4 section. We're gonna take a look at this section. Okay, so first is the sew and flip part, and that is the rectangle. Now if you watch this again when you have the block pattern next to you, the rectangle is, we get them both in here. This is the rectangle unit, and here we go. So I've got, there we go, see, there it is, the rectangle. You're going to be sewing from the long edge, which is always preferred. You don't want to sew from this point to here. Now, this is the line that we're sewing right along here. If you sew from the point, it's a lot harder because this often gets sucked down in your machine. If you sew from the straight side, you have something for the feed dogs, the little things on underneath, the little gears to grab onto. Now the first thing you want to do is audition where you want to place, if you've got directional fabric, how you want to place this square, because mine is directional fabric. So if I place it like this and I fold it back to see what it's going to look like, I can see it says pie crust. Ta-da! So that's kind of cute. It says pie crust. If I were to rotate it like this, and push it like that, then I just get these words like top crust, but it might get right into the, might still see it. Probably the seam allowance is going to be running right underneath it. And you can just test that going all the way around. So I would do this one with a pie crust, which is my favorite thing in the world to eat, is pie crust, just the crust. Now wait, have you ever done this or gotten these where somebody takes the pie crust and you put butter and cinnamon sugar on it and you just bake the pie crust, and then they're sort of like a cookie and you just eat them like that? To die for, to die for. It's a little transgression there. Okay, back to this. All right, so this will be, you're going to sew along this line. Now I have one, I'm going to pull this down closer, but I have one to show you. Okay, so I've done this one, but let's come very close because there's a couple things when you're doing sew and flip. And if you have my triangle book, I've got all this stuff in there. You should have that. It gives you all kinds of tips and things. So when you're, now this line is sewn, and I've done this first press. Let me move that one out of the way now. So what you want to do is when you push this over like this, you want to press it, and then you want to flip it and check it on the other side because it should be even. And mine, this sample, is not even. So what happens? Because it's not even, if I were to just go and trim away this stuff, I would now have a block that's not even because it would be too long up here and have just a fraction of a bit too much over there. So why is it not even? Well, that would be your sewing. That's the only way it would be. So that means this sewn line was a little bit shifted. It wasn't exactly corner to corner. And I can actually see that. If you look here, I can see there, see, it's not right at the corner. It's shifted just a teeny tiny little bit. And when that shifted, that meant it hangs over more. Now you could pull this over. You could, fold this back like this, and maybe it doesn't quite reach. So you went too far the other way. So you would see like the backing part here still. See those parts? So if you can still see those, that's not good either because it's not going to be even. So you'll get those things corrected, and I'm just going to move ahead. I did not do another block for you. But you want to get to those corrected. You will press this well, and then trim these guys away. Now you can use a ruler, which is, and a rotary cutter, which is what I really will usually do. But I just trim that, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of these. So these you can make into more half square triangles because they're a pretty good size. I believe they would be like a 2.5 inch one, and then you can make a mug rug or something like that. All right, so now we have, where are we at? On our block. See our block again. We're on it. Let me just fold the half block here so you can see it. So we want, this is this piece here. They're in the same position. Oh, let me just do that so that we don't get confused. Okay, so here we've got this top half. Now we have to have the half square triangle, a half square triangle and a square. That's the other part. So I've got the half square triangle and the square. And you're basically looking at this visually to get a flying geese unit. See this unit? If you're not seeing this flying geese unit, then you've rotated this the wrong way. So it's one of those things you have to really be on your A game to get everything organized. Otherwise, you'll flip something wrong. But that's your double check here, that this is creating a flying geese unit. I have pressed this to the white, which is not traditional, but what it does give me is total visibility of the point, which is what I want. I need to see where that point is for matching up. All right, so they go like this, and when I sew, oh, first of all, also, you want to press to the white for both of these. So after I did this, I need to come back and press this unit to the white. Okay, so it's going to be pressed to the white because that way it nestles together and I don't get, and it spreads the fabric out more evenly. So I am going to take and put these two right sides together, and where this intersection is, get it focused. So that intersection, I have to peek in there because it needs to be nestled against the other intersection. So they should be even. Like when I pull this over, you're also, let me just bring it down here. This is hard to show you sometimes. So these half square triangles, do you see that they're meeting along this seam? Because I pressed this seam this way and this one to the red and this seam to the white, that means they can nestle against each other and lay together flat. But I want to be sure that my intersection at this point is correct. I need to peek at that. When it's correct, I want to hold on to it and I want to stick a pin there. So I'm going to stick one pin in there, and then I will sew with this intersection facing up. So I'll go to the machine and I will sew like this right down here. You don't want to sew on this back side because you can't see where the intersection is. And when you do this, you will nail it, you will get it. But the pressing is kind of important, so that is not written in the directions. I don't put them in there for the free patterns because a lot of times it's pretty obvious, but on this one, I thought for the video I would show you. Press to the white side, and for the half square triangles, press to the dark. So that's where this is going. See, it's going over to the dark side. All right, so then when you press these, when you sew them, then here is what it looks like. So on the back side. Now I did press open the middle once I did those sections. I did these 2 units, sewed them, and sewed these 2, and everything works out. Middle is got the intersection, so I find pressing that open helps. And I hope that this little walk through some tips and how I do it is something that works for you. I have another quick one for the trimming the half square triangle that several of our friends showed us. Let me come back down here. So when you're using this triangle trimmer, this is a 3.5 inch square, and I put the line on the sewn line and trim it. Okay, there we go, trim it. This is just a sample one. And then if I want to trim off the dog ears, I did not know this. Everybody said, well, flip the ruler. So now my ruler is not, you know, the triangle was on this side before, and now it's on, you know, the triangle is facing me. And so now I can come and just cut off these 2 little dog ears, so that that's done now. I can do that all, I don't have to do it later after I press it. Then I can press this open, and I'm going to be pressing it to the dark side and then putting it into the blocks. Ta-da! Okay, let me show you the other colorway. I thought it would be fun to show you another colorway of this one. And look, isn't that fun? This is so fun. This quilt would be really neat if you did it scrappy and you did all of them kind of different. Look, I just thought this was great. I had to use some of the fabrics that I had more of, and I have more of the red because I've cut my strips, and I know I only have like the, you know, so you have a lot of extra of the red because I'm going to use it on the backing then too. But I thought, oh, I can do this sample block. So here is our block up there. Let me show you to have the block with everybody else, because I've got all my setting blocks. These are called setting blocks. I had a few people asking what was a setting block in the layout, and this is what it is. It's actual blocks you make as part of the layout of the quilt. So here we go. There is my block in the Cozy Things. And so your Cozy Things, your block is to celebrate cozy clothing, and so today I wore one of my cozy tops. I like this top a lot. I like the way the fabric feels, and I put on one of my scarves, the scarf with the pom-poms, because I wanted to feel cozy to do the video. Okay, friends, that is our Cozy Things today. We only have, what, 3 more blocks? Yes, so this is a fast one. This is a fast sew along, and I'll be announcing the next one fairly soon, maybe before Thanksgiving. You know, so I have to get it sort of organized and written up, and you know, that kind of a deal. So it's not sure what exact day, but hopefully before Thanksgiving. All right, I love you. Thank you for being here. I'll see you online. Mwah.